All right, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you don't know who MMA Joey is, all good. He's an MMA YouTuber, okay? If you do know who he is, all good. If you know who he is and you were a fan and or viewer, just know I'm not doing this to isolate his viewership or his fan base or anything like this. I just want to call out stupid stuff when I see stupid stuff. And if you were like me before I started making my own content, you probably listen to as much MMA content as you possibly can because, like me, you might be slightly autistic, okay? Now, before we get into it, please like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Now, anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so he made a video, which I was made aware of by somebody in my comments section just the other day. I think the video might be like a week old or something like that, but it was basically the essence of the video was him giving reasons why he thinks, well, firstly, that he thinks Israel Adesanya doesn't get the respect that he deserves, which I think is patently absurd. But anyways, and then he gives his reasons for that. And I want to give some arguments to debunk some of the things that he said. And then I want to give counter arguments to some of the counter arguments that I expect to hear in my comment section. The first one would be, did you listen to the whole video? Yes, I did, unfortunately, for my ears. Okay. Because the point in somebody saying that, which somebody got absolutely torn to shreds in his comment section for trying to say something about this, and that was one of the main points that people kept making. Oh, you obviously didn't listen to the whole video. Okay, because at the end of the video, he tries to do some like milquetoast, fence-sitting walk back of what he just said, because he gives 4 reasons as to why people don't like Israel Adesanya. 2 of them he tried to debunk, okay? Or he did, in his eyes, debunk them. Those 2 are the only 2 that would not make you or me or anybody else who doesn't like Israel Adesanya a bigot, okay? That's basically what he did. He debunks 2 of them. The other 2 that make you a bigot or that are actually serious accusations, he doesn't debunk. And then he tries to say, well, I don't know which one is the most prevalent here and all this. So he is saying essentially what he's saying that he's not saying, and he tried to do a milquetoast walk back, which I don't like, okay? He also does this thing where he tries to act like he's going to get in shit or hate for this take, which is insane, but I will get to that later. The Keon Kimura, unironically, like how he said that this was a hot take, okay? This is not a hot take, but I'll get to that later. Also, doing a video debunking it kind of proves his point of that. No, it doesn't. But anyways, we'll get back to that. Okay, so one thing, first of all, he said a few silly things that I just want to immediately get rid of off the bat. He said Israel Adesanya has 6 title defenses. No, he doesn't. I'm sick of this take. His unification of his interim title is not a defense. Okay, he has 5 title defenses. Point blank, period. He has 6 title wins because he won his belt back against Alex Pereira, but which would have been his 6th title defense. He lost to Alex Pereira. He does not have a title defense against Robert Whittaker. No other interim champion in the history of the UFC gets treated as though they defended their belt if and when they did unify their interim title. Okay, so also he says that he thinks Israel Adesanya is should be in the conversation for GOAT, and he doesn't understand why he isn't. And this is one of the reasons he gives for why people, like why he views people not giving Israel Adesanya enough credit. First of all, the vast majority of the people that are included in that GOAT conversation have already, Jesus, dude, my bad, retired. Okay, that's usually a pretty good time to start talking about whether or not they're in the GOAT debate. One exception to that is John Jones. However, he was inactive for a very long time and only just came back recently, okay? And he says that he should be considered the middleweight GOAT, or he needs one more win to be, because he fought better competition than Anderson Silva, which I find hilarious. I think he has definitely a few very impressive victories, absolutely, but I don't think overall he's fought better competition than Anderson Silva, but that's not what we're here for, okay? So I'm debunking his debunk of the first one, which is that he has boring fights, okay? He tries to give some statistics in the beginning and say that, well, he has 24 MMA fights with 16 KOs, which is a little bit dishonest, if I'm being... Well, dishonest is the wrong word, because that is correct, right? That is correct. But it kind of inflates his KO to win ratio, because nobody was paying attention to him when he was in these smaller organizations, except us, maybe a handful of hardcore MMA fans that knew him from kickboxing and things like this, but most people weren't watching those, okay? Most fans know him from his time in the UFC. He's got 15 UFC fights. He's got 13 UFC wins, 5 finishes, which puts his win to KO ratio at about 38%, which isn't horrible, right? But it's certainly not 16 out of 24. There's a big difference once he got to the UFC, and you see this a lot with guys, if I'm being honest. And he has had a lot of boring fights. And now a counter argument to this would be like, well, somebody like Robert Whittaker hasn't gotten a finish since 2017, right? Which is true. And then they would say, well, and nobody calls him boring, which is also true, because he's not boring. Because even when he goes to a decision with a guy like a Marvin Vettori, like a Jared Cannonier, he beats them better than the champion did, okay? And they walk away more damaged than they did in their fights with Israel Adesanya. Jared Cannonier had a broken arm, almost got finished, dropped, beaten up, head kicked multiple times. Marvin Vettori got the shit beaten out of him. They were not boring fights just because they went to decision. That is not the basis of which I would call a fight boring, okay? Robert Whittaker also had 2 crazy wars with Romero. And as I just mentioned, all of his fights after that went to decision were extremely entertaining, including those 2 fights with Romero. He says that he has maybe 3 or 4 boring fights. He says the Yoel Romero one was bad. Before he says this, he talks about Anderson Silva's boring fights. He says the Damian Maia one was horrible. Okay, well, if Damian Maia versus Anderson Silva was horrible, then Israel Adesanya and Yoel Romero has to at least be on par with that. That was probably one of the worst male fights we have ever seen in UFC history, point blank, period. Okay? Horrible. His fight against Brad Tavares was not all that either. Somehow he got a performance bonus, but that's all right. His fights, both fights actually, against Marvin Vettori were not overly entertaining. Okay? His fight with Jared Cannonier was a dud. Okay, his fight with Jan Blachowicz, even though he lost that fight, was still a dud. And even while it was on the feet, where he is supposed to be the last style bender, was relatively boring, and he just got outstruck on points by Jan Blachowicz. Now, so I count like 7 or 8 that are kind of lackluster, and that's if you include the second Whittaker one, which to somebody who enjoys really high level striking like chess matches, I don't really view it as boring, but you could, and I wouldn't fault you for that. Now, I don't give fighters a lot of shit for boring fights, and the reason I don't is because I'm fully aware of the danger that goes into opening yourself up for attacks. I think a better word to describe Adesanya is very defensive. Even in that Alex Pereira knockout, which, by the way, as somebody who doesn't like Adesanya, I came on here afterwards and gave him all the credit in the world for that knockout. That was a beautiful knockout. Whatever. It was defensive. It was a counter strike, which is by definition defensive. He was in a defensive posture up against the cage, right? Like he's a defensive fighter, okay? The way that I judge whether or not a fight is exciting or boring, because he says that the only bad ones were the second fight with Vettori, the Cannonier fight, and the Yoel Romero fight. The way that I judge whether or not a fight is boring or not is its rewatch value. I've talked about this before on the channel. Good example, Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. The first time, there was a ton of anticipation. You didn't know what was going to happen. Wonderboy's KO'ing a bunch of people. Woodley looked to be like he was going to be a dominant force in the welterweight division. You were waiting for something to happen. While you were sitting through those 25 minutes, it was not boring, right? It was kind of exciting, honestly, even though it only had 1 or 2 real moments of excitement in that entire fight. I would never choose to submit myself to that, to go watch that fight back again. It would be completely pointless in my opinion, and it would probably be, if I was going to watch it, it would be if I was having trouble sleeping. The second fight, people were kind of over it because we had just seen this for 5 rounds, you know what I mean? So I don't know that I would want to go back and watch either of his Vettori fights, his Cannonier fight, his Yoel Romero fight, any of these, unless I was doing like preparation for a prediction or a video or something along these lines. And he says that everybody forgets about his good performances. Nobody fucking does, because they are all we see in an Israel Adesanya fight week. Okay? We see his fucking highlights non-stop. It is honestly incredibly annoying. Also, I want to just touch on him saying that he doesn't get the credit he deserves or anything like this. There's a few reasons why that is actually absurd, and I should have probably opened with this, but I kind of just forgot. He is the highest paid athlete, aside from Conor McGregor, in the UFC today. Okay, he made, when he was champion, like $6 million base. That's insane. He's making huge money. You want to know why he makes that much money? Because he's popular. Okay, he's popular. There's a lot of fans that like him. There are some fans that hate him. Those fans are going to buy the pay-per-view anyways because they want to see if the person can beat him. He is not like discredited in his fighting abilities. He is not hated by the majority of fans. This is the same way he did a video leading up to the rematch between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira, saying that Israel Adesanya was a huge underdog. He was objectively the betting favorite going into that fight. He was not an underdog in any sense of the word. Now, maybe if you only pay attention to MMA YouTube and you only listened to what MMA YouTubers said, you might think he was an underdog. But if you were somebody that can see the betting line because it's fucking right there right before they fight, you would know that objectively he was not an underdog. Okay? No one forgets about his good performances. All they show leading up to fight week are his highlights. They're there. We know about them. Okay? So this is a silly argument. Him trying to debunk people saying that they don't like his fight style. It's not even so much that he is boring. If he was honest about the way he was going to fight somebody, I don't think people would care as much. When he says, leading up to a fight, I'm going to fuck him up. I'm going to go in there and fuck him up. I'm going to butcher all this shit. Like, for instance, the Jared Cannonier fight. And then he goes out there and does what he does. People get irritated, okay? The next reason that he gives, that he also debunks, he provides debunks for. This is what I mean. This first one, about boring fights, he tries to debunk. The next reason he tries to debunk. And then the last two he does not, and we'll get to those. Next reason, corny line / cringy. Okay? This is a valid reason. All of these are valid reasons, okay? Well, depending on what you think of the last two, but just despite that, not liking him because of his fight style is a valid reason. Not liking him because he says corny, cringy shit is a valid reason, okay? He says that the same people who don't like him for his corniness are the same people that also say, well, they love Colby Covington. There is a massive, massive difference between somebody playing a character for the sole purpose of being hated so that people care about watching him fight, right? Then saying these things unironically because you think that they sound cool, such as, I'll leave him frozen like Elsa, or this is my 8 Mile moment, or my life's a movie, or fucking insert corny line here. He's said it. He said it. He says cringe shit all the time. Yeah, Colby Covington can be cringe from time to time. Like Nerds and Virgins shit, the ads that he does for the fucking betting websites, the nicknames that he gives some of the guys are a little corny or cringy or whatever. The difference is he's doing that intentionally. He knows he's being cringe. That's the fucking difference. Israel Adesanya does not know he's being cringe. Or he thinks he's not. He thinks he's being cool. Like nobody's ever... This is a valid reason to not like him. He says corny and cringy shit all the fucking time. People pick and choose who they like as fighters, not necessarily based on their performances, but based on their personality. That's a big, huge aspect of it. That's why you have a guy in Conor McGregor that makes as much money as he does. Okay? Because there are plenty of guys, resume-wise, performance-wise, that should be on par, if not higher paid than him, if we were strictly going off of performances in the cage. It is not based on that. It's based on personality. That's why Israel Adesanya makes as much money as he fucking does, dude. You know what I mean? And Volkanovski makes substantially less. Volkanovski, maybe not objectively, but there's a debate that he has done about as much as Israel Adesanya, or that his UFC career has been as impressive as Israel Adesanya. Makes substantially less money. He's also a white man, okay? Which leads me to my next point. Nope, it doesn't lead. There's another reason that he also debunks, which drives me So 3 reasons he says are invalid, and then lists the last 2, and then says, oh, but I don't know which order all of these go in percent-wise. He brings up the gyno and how people accuse him of being on steroids and that he has never failed a drug test. My guy, it is hard to fail a drug test when you are not being tested, okay? Also, Somebody mentioned that he had said something about Derek for more plates, more dates, and that we can't trust his ability to determine whether or not somebody's on steroids. Obviously, it's not 100% foolproof. That guy is absolutely extremely knowledgeable in this very niche subject. He knows way more than the vast majority of doctors on this particular subject. Okay, maybe not in medicine as a whole, but on this particular subject, he knows more than most doctors. Okay, that's a fact, dude. There's PhDs that listen to him. He says they are diagnosing him based off of Instagram pictures. No, they are not. They are, first of all, Derek from More Plates, More Dates will comprehensively he will go over his blood work with you. Like, go watch his videos. They are not just, bro, look at him here, bro. He looks juicy. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, look at these markers in his blood work. This is an indicator of this, this, and this. Also, dude, he has a boob. And not the same kind of boobs that MMA Joey has. He has a fucking female tit, essentially, on his right pec. Okay? Like a B cup, bro. You know what I mean? Like some fucking... Come on, okay? He's got a boob. And then this guy will very confidently, and I'm talking about MMA Joey now, very confidently say that Conor's on steroids. And he says that unequivocally. He says that he admits to it, guys. He gives a quote. He says, I will be cleared for testing by this date. First of all, yes, Conor McGregor is probably juicing. I agree with that. I don't know for sure, but I agree with that he probably is. However, I don't recall Israel Adesanya ever snapping his fucking tib fib to the point where they almost popped out of his leg. You get me? A lot of fucking PEDs and or steroids or whatever you want to call them are used for recovery. The difference is Conor McGregor is not fucking competing. He's not competing. He is out of the testing pool. He is not competing, and he can't compete until he comes back and has 6 months of testing. That is the difference. Israel Adesanya is not retired. He's not recovering from an injury. He is actively competing. Okay? That is the fucking difference. Also, by his own logic, Conor McGregor has never tested positive in any of his USADA tests, so you can't say definitively whether or not you know he's on steroids, but he has no problem doing that, which is fucking stupid, okay? Next point. Now we get to the good shit. Now we're at the good shit. Uh-oh. Racism is the first one. Okay. I mentioned this already. This is why I didn't mention this off the top. I've got it in my notes to mention it here. Highest paid athlete in the UFC aside from Conor McGregor. Okay. The reason for that is the fan base. If we had a bunch of racist fucks that didn't like him, he wouldn't be making that kind of money, okay? Dude is quite literally the face of the UFC, too, okay? He's been on game covers and shit like that. Then he tries to give these numbers, dude, and let's go over this, because I'll use his own math to make him look like a fucking idiot. Oh. He tries to say, oh, well, I know the counter-argument to this is going to be that every race can be racist, which is fucking true. That's not a counter-argument, you stupid fuck. 60% of the UFC fan base is white, he says. Okay, dude. I'll take him at his word. I haven't done my own research. I'll just fucking agree with him there because it probably is just based on the population and the fact that they're an American company. Even if you want to say that, he said, only if you want to say that 5% of those people are racist, then you still have to admit that there are some people out there that don't like him because he's racist. Okay. 60%. Roughly 2/3. Not quite. Yeah, roughly 2/3, not quite. If you want to say that 5% of that 60% is racist, then what you're telling me is that 3% of the UFC fan base doesn't like him because he's racist, and that 3% of the fan base is not going to have the outcome of this man not being respected as a fighter, or this man being hated on to the degree that MMA Joey claims that he is. Okay? That is fucking ridiculous. 3% of the fan base. Meanwhile, this dude's the highest paid fucking athlete in the UFC aside from Conor McGregor again, which, by the way, he doesn't sell nearly the fucking pay-per-views that Conor McGregor does, okay? The face of the UFC, do you think that if the UFC was concerned that they had racist fans, or not even concerned, that they thought they had racist fans, in order to make the most money, they would probably not stick a fucking black guy and a Cuban dude right beside him on their cover? Huh? Dude? Are you fucking deranged? Okay? Like, good lord. I don't get it. Okay? But either way, 60% of the UFC fan base is white, so his 5% number gets shrunk down to about 3% white fans that are racist. That means and also He gets that much money because of the fan base, correct? Okay, we've established that. All right. Well, if the vast majority of the fan base, or at least the majority of the fan base, are white people, and only 3% of that fan base are racist, that means that the other fucking massive portion of the white fan base is the reason he's making that much money. Okay, so he can thank the white people for his $6 million paychecks, for fuck's sakes. Okay, dude, like what a stupid thing to say. And he says, if it angers you to admit that, then you are probably racist. No, it won't anger me to admit that probably 3% of the UFC fan base, pardon me, part of the white UFC fan base is racist. It would also not anger me to admit that a chunk of the black fan base is racist, a chunk of the Portuguese fan base, or the fucking whatever, Brazilian fan, all this shit. It wouldn't anger me. What does anger me, though, is the hypocrisy. Because where was this fat fuck calling out Israel Adesanya when he is literally using, by definition, racial slurs against a white guy? I didn't see him do a video on it. Maybe he brought it up in the live chat. I highly doubt he was condemning of it, though. But anyways. But the real reason, okay, he says, he brings up his achievements again, okay? People don't people don't have to like you because you're accomplished. I don't understand this. Like, so many people hate Donald Trump. He's a pretty accomplished guy. If you don't like him, you're going to have to admit that he's a pretty accomplished guy. And I don't care about what fucking loan he got from his dad. What he was able to do with that loan means he's accomplished by definition. This might be a hot take, man. There are a lot of very accomplished people, including some of the best athletes of all time, that are kind of cunts. Like, I don't ever recall hearing that Michael Jordan was like the fucking most polite, nicest guy in the world. You know what I mean? So, also, dude, people fucking hate John Jones. But for whatever reason, it's okay for people to hate John Jones, even though he's black. So I don't know why this guy's all up in arms over fucking Israel Adesanya. But either way, dude. But then he says the biggest factor, okay? The elephant in the room. Bro, I'm going to get shit on for this, okay? Firstly, I want to address him saying that. As I said earlier, he is not going to get shit on. This is more cringe than anything Israel Adesanya has done. Pretending like you are going to get shit on for calling out racism or the very next thing is fucking retarded, okay? Again, if you pay attention strictly to like smaller, obscure MMA YouTubers, fine, this might be something that would get you shit. If you look at the vast majority of the big corporate money, like productions, the fucking big budget productions, all this shit, Morning Combat, like Showtime shit, BT Sports, all this shit, these are all mainstream fucking opinions. Not just in MMA media, in all media, okay? In all media. But still, okay? His opinions are in line with the vast majority of, okay, whatever. Anyways, there are plenty of woke fucks here, okay? And then the only difference is that they're all mainstream. So for him to pretend like this is an unpopular opinion is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? He pretends that this is an unpopular opinion so that he can garner sympathy from his fans in his comment section who are also in alignment with him when it comes to views and shit like this. And I don't mean views on YouTube. I mean like political views, moral views, things like this, who also think that they're oppressed and that these things aren't spoken about, even though that they're all that's fucking spoken about, okay? Homophobia. This is the elephant in the room, he says. It must be a pink elephant, okay? First of all, he brings up people calling him the gender bender, okay? That would not be homophobic, you stupid fuck. That would be transphobic, okay? Like, you fat fuck. Yeah, get it? Like, that's fat phobia, okay? They all have their separate things, okay? Okay? This is not no one is throwing out homophobic slurs on IG. He says you see fucking homophobic slurs spammed in all of the comments and all of the Instagram posts regarding Adesanya. Pretty sure if you utter the F slur, you know what I mean? The word for cigarette or whatever in UK slang, pretty sure you get banned, or at the very least that comment would get deleted, okay? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty fucking confident in saying that. He keeps saying this. I'm just saying it exists. No. I don't think there is anybody that actually thinks Israel Adesanya is gay. Maybe a few. You know what I mean? He's got a girlfriend. He's always had a girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend's trying to take half his shit. I don't think that people actually think he's gay. I think at worst people might think that he's bi. But I think that it's like He does traditionally gay or at the very least flamboyant shit. And can somebody fucking tell me how? Anybody, including myself, even though I'm not one of these people that call him gay, explain to me, how can you explain something that is gay without using that word? And then without then being perceived as homophobic, okay? He brings up Jeff Molina. Well, fuck, man. He's talking about why are people talking about it. It's news, it's drama in the UFC space. Why would somebody not talk about it? Okay, I talked about it. Also, it's not just the fact that that he's a homophobic that he's a homosexual or in his words bisexual. I'm pretty sure if you do that, whatever, dude. Either way. He keeps saying this line. He goes, bro, you need to, if you are angered by this, if you talk about this, if you care about another man's sexuality, you need to see a psychiatrist, okay? So it's okay to be ableist, I guess, in the MMA Joeys fucking videos or stream or whatever, dude. Like, I think you need to see a fucking dietitian. You know what I mean? I'll go see a psychiatrist when you see a dietitian, okay? But like seriously, man, he keeps saying there will be people too scared to mention this, as if this shit isn't completely, as if this narrative that everything's homophobic, racist, fucking all this shit is not completely accepted and pushed by mainstream media. You are in alignment with the big guys, you stupid fuck. Okay. And again, I'm sorry if you're a fan of MMA Joey, but this shit really irritates me. I did this when Keon Kimura did it. I went hard. I debunked his claims. I don't appreciate people generalizing a massive fucking audience as a thing because they don't like the same fighter they like, right? The MMA fans do this weird thing where, and it's not all MMA fans, but it seems to be like pretty trendy. If I say something negative about a fighter that they like, even if it is like a technical criticism, such as the Drickus Duplessis video, or just this morning, my video about Cody Garbrandt and Mario Bautista, I said that Cody Garbrandt, I'm worried because he gets KO'd easily, and that in his last performance with Trevin Jones, he almost got finished in that third round because he fucking took it off. And some guy got offended by that and said I was on some hater shit. And I said, go watch that third round again, okay? But I don't get it, man. It's insane to me. Like, I don't have to like the same guy you like. And just because I don't like him and he happens to be black and flamboyant doesn't mean I'm fucking homophobic or racist, okay? Like, I don't get it. And then I get that he tried to walk that back and be a fence sitter and say that I'm not saying if you don't like him that you're one of these things, but he basically was, because he debunked in his mind the 3 other reasons. Okay. And he kept saying this too. I asked 5 people, okay, casual fans, hardcore fans, they're all people you know. Okay. This is what we call selection bias. They're all people you know. First of all, 5 people is not a very large sample size, okay? 5 people that you know well enough to talk to and ask these questions to, which means they probably are in alignment with, again, your political, your moral views, things like this, selection bias, and a very small sample size. You asking 5 people means not a fucking thing, because I could ask 5 people that I know why they don't like Israel Adesanya, and I would get that he's fucking cringe, he's probably on steroids, he's racist, also, okay, he doesn't like white people, so I don't know why, like, his white fans are totally cool with him. Like, it's annoying, man. I'm sick of these guys saying that they're calling something out that is gonna get them hate or shit on for it, when the one guy that tried to defend himself in the comment section got fucking raked over the coals by your audience, man. Okay? It's annoying. It's annoying. You're telling me a guy doesn't get enough credit, doesn't get whatever, the recognition he deserves when he's the highest paid athlete in the UFC. We're just summarizing here, okay? Aside from Conor McGregor, he's one of the biggest stars in the sport. He's on video game covers. He's literally the face of the UFC. They promote him everywhere. The UFC staff loves him. John Anik talked about how he thinks he's the middleweight GOAT. Okay, he's friends with a ton of famous people. He gets praise nonstop from all these big budget MMA productions, okay? Won an award for some New Zealand athlete shit when he is still claiming Nigeria and China at the same time. How much respect do you want him to get, my guy? Not everybody's gonna like the same guys you like, okay? Fucking Christ, man. Anyways, dude, that's the end of this video. Again, I'm sorry if you're a fan of MMA Joey. I tried to keep the ad hominems to a minimum, but there's just some of the points where I'm like, I have to just throw this in there because it's just for fun. But either way, dude. that's the end of this video. Like and subscribe. Don't be too upset if you're an MMA Joey fan, and I will see you at the next video. By the way, this will be the last drama-themed or whatever video you want to call it this week. Next week, or not next week, tomorrow, I will start UFC 288 content. I will be doing some fight film breakdowns and things like that. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. See you at the next video. Bye-bye.